Today we're doing some Batman miniature game, some 3rd edition, and what we've got going are 2 crews. So let's introduce the crews. So we've got here Arrow, the Flash, TV, Arkham Guard 1, O'Connell, Gotham Policewoman, and Spartan. Their equipment today: riot gear, a couple of radios, a whistle, and handcuffs. Got our deck, got our tokens. There's going to be a few activations on passes there. So we've got our 4 audacities. 2 of those. I'm about to set up the 3 effort for each of them, and now we'll go and have a look at the other crew. On the other side, we're actually running, I suppose, a Mr. Freeze crew, but we've got Captain Cold, Heatwave, and because they're a bit more of a thief oriented, I've gone with the best thief in the game. That's the Catwoman. We've got Thugs 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and high security henchmen. The equipment on this list are 2 bulletproof vests, which are going for Thug 6 and high security henchmen. Now, what I wanted to do with the this guy, wherever I get, there's a quarterback for the Gotham City Gridiron team, Chris Campbell. And everyone hates him, but I wanted this guy to be Chris's biggest fan. And you know, that the whole, no one's going to mess with my man Chris. When I had a look, turned out that Chris's number is number 12. So, you're on your night models. That's pretty impressive. Stole my thunder a little bit, because I really wanted to have Chris Campbell having at least one fan out there in the wide world. Because they all hate Chris. But anyway, that's all right. We'll get back to everything. So I'll show you the setup of the board, and we'll start next. And so the scenario that got randomly picked is this one, Plunder. Just turned out to be a good one, I suppose. But anyway, no, I fanned them out and picked one. I've checked the Captain Cold crew, or the Mr. Freeze crew, officially, is deployment A. And now we'll have a look at the board. Combination of the Dark Delights, or the Dark Carnival setting, with the amazing piece that comes from starter set. So this is going to be deployment zone A, the back here on each of those corners, and B on the corners over there. Place some tokens around in a minute. Alright, we'll get some deployment happening. Here we go. Suspect markers placed, crews deployed, Arrow, Police 1, Diggle, Flash, Arkham and O'Connell. Then we've got Catwoman, Thug 2, Thug 5, Heatwave, and the remaining with high security henchmen. 3, 4, 6 with Cold. With having 9 models but only 4 Audacity tokens, they've got a little bit of catching up to do in that regard. Alright. Cold gets turn 1. We'll go through turn 1. We'll get it from there. So I'm about to activate Barry, and in the way that I've got my speed force, or the way that I think that should be handled, I suppose is the most egotistical way of saying it, is that he spends a special action to generate his speed force counters. In this instance, he gets 5. He's got a speedster trait of 5, so he generates 5 counters. And from there on, for this special action, he's going to spend the 1 counter for speed level 1 and 2 counters to do the speed level 2, leaving him with 2 speed force tokens, which, if he chooses, he could up his attack or his defense, but he's already pretty hard to hit. We'll see. We'll leave it as it is, more than likely. So we'll use his speed force to move him, and then we'll keep it going from there. So this is the state of play at the moment. We haven't moved any of the Audacity dudes, but we have moved some of our henchmen. There are the little markers next to them, ones that have been activated. The arrow crew have used 1 pass token, and now we're about to move Barry. First 4 inches, move him out to about there, and then we'll move him 8 inches. I'll line it all up in a moment. It's hard to do with one hand. And then he'll get the rest of his actions. So Barry was able to move 4 and then 8, which took him to under here. And then his normal movement goes up to 16, and he's all the way over here, where he's about to launch an attack on the thug over there, and he's going to put some token on his hits. Okay, so the 1 onto his attack, so that gives him an extra attack dice, and the opponent has defense 2. So we'll do some rolling. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and a 5 plus, that's a 1. Thug number 2 has defense 2 and defends 1. It's actually worth going over that when Gotham Policewoman moved earlier, she planted a suspect token and turned into a snitch, playing this card. And just to help out Captain Cold, I decided it was a 351 rep, which that's why we've got the 2 free agents, because well, he needs all the help he can get, being a lone member of the Mr. Freeze crew. Hopefully something that we can address at some point, but anyway. So this is officially a 351 rep battle. Thug number 2 didn't quite take enough to, didn't quite take enough damage. That's alright. Nice try, Barry. So Barry did put himself in range for thug number 5 to take a couple of pot shots. So we'll get that done. So that'll be a rate of fire of 3, inflicting a blood and a stun. If he hits, of course. Which he misses. So after a pass, we had one guy move under there. And it was a henchman moved. So after a pass, then it was these guys' turn again. Rory moved up, Heatwave moved up. He's going to flash the flash. They also spent 2 to move high security henchman from about there to there. Spend 2 resources. So they burnt that card. And we'll see if we can set the flash on fire. So Barry's now on fire, so he's already taken damage, a blood and a stun, and now he'll take an extra blood at the end of the round. Yeah, because he's on fire. So at the end of turn 1, we've got everybody moving forward. Captain Cold's crew have more suspect markers on the board. So they get to score that card. Both Diggle and Arrow can move suspect markers, so move them closer to the edge. Arrow, in his move, backlot it to there, and manipulate it over to here to head off Catwoman. So round 2 was interesting. Rory moved up, burned at Ollie, who put 3 arrows back into Mick. Others have moved up, dropped a few more suspect markers. Got a fight happening over here. So the policewoman smacked high security henchman for a couple of wounds. Dig shot at this guy. Captain Cold put some smack into Barry. Barry had to effort to dodge, so he's down to 1 effort. So pretty much means that he can't spend any more effort at the moment, because under the way that I'm running the speedsters, if he uses all of his effort, then he's at negative on his, that's the fatigue rule. He needs to make sure he's got 1 effort left. Captain Cold was, he's hitting with +2 to hit. He's just a beast. Well worth it. So Barry's got a cold effect on him at the moment. We had some movement through here. Catwoman revealed a marker, an enemy marker, which gave them some more victory points. We're finishing up the round, and next round. So it's Captain Cold crew first, and what they've done is they've played this card as a resource. Here. So our boy is in range and is going straight after Dig. With the additional attacks from the free effort, and gains +1 on the damage die, on the strength die for the Titan. Gets an automatic remotely uses it. And away. Oh, okay. Come on, Dig. You can stop this. Whoa. That's a lot of ones. 2 hits. Deagle's defense. 2 defend. Way to go, Dig. Okay, so at the end of the game, which was really kind of odd because there wasn't any casualties at all. They didn't end up being able to put themselves in positions to knock anyone out definitively. Poor Barry got smacked around a fair bit. He ended up with the closest one to being KO, well, being a casualty if it wasn't for his super fast healing. Captain Cold is awesome with his beam weapons, fantastic. Arrow is, of course, Arrow, so he's just totally tears things apart. Rory is tough. He just absorbs damage. He just took 6 blood and just laughed it off. It was just fantastic. And then the other guy, there were just a lot of guys. There were a lot of dudes. Some of the rolls were a little bit against the favour of the Captain Cold's crew, but that's the nature of the game. The dice do not lie. But yeah, the high security henchman and the policewoman went toe to toe. She was insane. Her defensive rules just tore him apart. Like, he couldn't hit her and damage her, and she just was all over it. She took more damage from using effort than actually from him. But he was hard. The blood damage against him is actually better because obviously he's got a lower willpower, so he's more susceptible to that. He's got the 8 endurance, so if you start shooting him with bullets, he sticks around, but you want to come in and bludgeon him to death. I had more guys with punchies than anything else, so that sort of affected some of it, I think, because I had to get it up close and personal. Alright, so down to victory points. So this is the heroes, or the Brave and the Bold crew. So let's count up what they've got. So it was 2, 4, 6. They got 8 in the end. Stick to the plan. Yes. We raise the plan. We throw away the plan. Everyone knows the drill. Alright, so what have we got over here? 3... snitch. Did we get 2 snitches? No, we didn't end up doing the other snitch. Wait for backup. Giving everybody radios is a good idea. As many people as radios as possible. Alright, so that's 3, 5, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, that just passed. Just passed. So we'll call that a Brave and the Bold. That's actually close enough to be a tie, really. But on paper, the Brave and the Bold stopped everyone doing what they were supposed to be doing. I don't know what the bad guys were here to steal. They were here to steal something out of the Dark Delights Carnival. Alright. But yeah, so using special action for the Speed Force, that's actually kind of good. That works. That works well. It's the second time I've tried that and it works. I like it. And because we had Captain Cold, obviously there were more. We used the neutral deck, taking out some cards to make it the 20, because we don't have any Mr. Freeze or Cold folk. If anyone's listening, that's worth it. The objectives for the Cold crew or the freeze crew should be more based around stealing stuff or collecting things, turning suspect markers into diamonds or gems or something, and bringing them back in, because Captain Cold is all about heists and Mr. Freeze is all about stealing components for his wife. So yeah, anyway, just a suggestion to anyone listening. The Brave and the Bold, yep, they were all good. Those were quite good. Took out obviously the Commissioner, the Bullock and Batman, and just put in some others, just some singles, ammo and loot and something else. That all seemed to, but they all seemed to be fine. We got lots of cops in the Brave and the Bold side, and a few veterans, so who can pretend to be cops or pretend to have the detective traits, because there's a couple of cards that need that. Everything seemed to be working fine. Yeah. It was a blast. But anyway, it's alright. So ultimately, the good guys won. Team Flash, Team Arrow, Flash Arrow, Flarrow, they did it again. With Dig. He did a good job. He did an excellent job in there. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He laid out some smack, and he was able to use drops markers and collect markers as he was running around, because he's pretty awesome. All right, thank you very much.